You do not and should not always have to be on your A game to create. My brain is really not braining, so today's box video is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. This is my box of common issues, challenges, questions that I get about content creation from my clients, my followers, and me as we try and use these apps and share our ideas and art without feeling so exhausted, overwhelmed, riddled with perfectionism, things like that. So we're going to pick one and unpack it together. Getting this purple one. Okay, I feel like every post needs to be super profound and meaningful. I'm laughing because literally the perfectionism post that I just made was about things needing to be super deep and meaningful. Okay, so I feel this a lot when I make my own content, and my clients come to me a lot with this just struggle of like, I want to post something, I want to connect with my audience, I want to make content, but so often we just feel like we have the weight of the world on our shoulders, or just these really high expectations, or we grew up with really high expectations of ourselves or put on us, and we're just used to like things needing to be the best, things needing to be life-changing, things needing to be just like capital I important all of the time, especially also if we, grew up or like even still into adulthood kind of got disconnected from like play and creativity and fun just for fun's sake. We can probably have like a really hard time with like creating just to see what comes of it, or posting just to see what comes of it, or posting just because we feel like it, or because it's fun and we like want to experience that fun. Like we might have a really hard time accessing that. So this is a very common narrative that my low energy entrepreneur friends deal with. And my like first invitation for you would be very similar to, most other situations that come up. Like, take baby steps to practice creating even when you don't have like a super meaningful like motivation or idea like coming through you. So there's kind of like two routes that I'm like seeing kind of come up with this. So like you might have sometimes where you might be motivated to post, but you feel like what you have conceptually isn't meaningful enough. Or you might have the motivation to post, but like an idea hasn't come to you. Like you kind of just want to create something, but like you're not sure what you're going to create yet. But because you don't know what you're going to create yet, you don't know if it's going to be meaningful enough. And that's what's kind of hanging you up. So especially if like you do have an idea, if you have an idea of like something you might want to say or something you might want to create or film, but you feel like it's not important enough, this is something where we can take gentle like baby steps to practice sharing our content, like pressing publish, pressing post, but maybe in ways that are like a little bit smaller at first. So like if you have something goofy or funny or silly, or it's just not like fully thought out yet, or you just maybe aren't as like sure yet like what it means or what its meaning might be, can you share it to your stories? Can it be a shorter video? Can it be a shorter piece of content, a smaller piece of content? Could you share it to a close friends like list on Instagram? Could you share it to like friends only here on TikTok? You posting content does not have to be posted to the same group of people the same way every single time. So if there's any sort of like, just iffiness around it, or if just some perfectionism narratives are coming up around it that's making it harder for you to just post as you normally might, you are allowed to post in other ways that maybe feel a little less vulnerable or a little less exposing, but still put your stuff out there and still show you that it is okay to post stuff even when you're not sure. Even when it feels different, or you feel like you're taking a little bit more of a risk, or it's more playful or whatever. If you feel like you want to post, but you're like, I don't feel like I have anything like deep or super meaningful or important to say, you could still do the same exact thing that I recommended over here of like, cool, share something like silly and dumb, or, benign, or like just run of the mill, like share it to your close friends, share it to just your followers, share it to stories instead of your feed. This also, though, could be a good, like posting just for the sake of posting's sake, could be something good to practice sort of being in your rotation of posting, because you never know what's going to resonate with your audience. You never know what is going to seem kind of like a throwaway post to you, but actually was like really meaningful and transformative for someone in your audience, or lots of people in your audience. Especially with social media, like experimentation needs to be a part of your content creation process in some way, shape, or form. So that could be something where we practice like building in like experimenting, or, like setting a timer, and whatever you come up with is what you go with and what you post, like incorporating some sort of techniques like that gently into your content creation routine, so it becomes more familiar to you to post things that are not super planned out beforehand, or are more off the cuff, or are more spur of the moment. Making that sort of like a more gentle, like regular part of your content creation practice will help make it feel a little bit more accessible, a little bit more doable, a little bit more familiar, so that when you do have that like motivation or cue to like, okay, I want to post something, but I'm not sure what I want to say yet, it's already part of your content creation routine to do that, and know that like those posts still very much mean something. They still very much matter. And there's still very much a connection point between you and your audience, and still very much an important part of your creative process.